Top experts say the Philadelphia mob has grown in numbers the city hasn't seen since the late 80s, and it's claiming it's gone legit.
Getting in on the city's booming rebuilding and real estate business, Fox 29's Dave Schratweiser shows what he found in a 2-month-long investigation.
If you happen to be at the corner of 21st and Passyunk just before Christmas, or at the corner of 11th and Jackson 2 weeks ago, you would have realized right off the bat that the Philly mob is back. Fox 29 undercover cameras were rolling as one of the city's most powerful wise guys, George Borghese, emerged from a mob social club in South Philly.
Hey, George, you got a minute? Just want to ask you a couple questions.
These guys are hanging out together and business together. None of that's surprising.
Borghese has been out of prison just over a year and has been the center of attention in South Philly for months now, hanging on street corners with fellow wise guys or in deep discussions with high-ranking mobsters like acting mob boss Joe Legambi or reputed underboss Steve Mazzone.
He's obviously a player. I mean, he's in the middle of all of this.
In early January, there was Borghese again with Mazzone and Dominic Grandi, walking and talking near the Crew's new clubhouse at 11th and Jackson. A week earlier, more than 20 wise guys and wannabes gathered there, socializing and hanging out. Again, not something Borghese wanted to talk about.
How about the guys hanging out? You don't want to talk?
Look, in this life, everybody needs friends.
Attorney Edwin Jacobs, who led the defense team in the last half-dozen mob trials, says there's nothing suspicious going on here.
It's not the least bit surprising that upon release from custody, any of them would seek out and congregate with their friends. Quite natural.
Despite some lengthy federal prison sentences in the past decade, experts agree the mob is back stronger than ever.
Given the guys who've come back from prison and are back out and about, you're probably in the 25 to 30, maybe 35, and we haven't been that high since, I guess, the end of the Scarfo era.
They're doing the right thing. It's good to have a wide circle of friends. It's good to be a member of the community.
Reconnecting with the people with whom they committed crimes doesn't bode well for their rehabilitation.
Dave Fritchie is the former head of the Justice Department's Organized Crime Strike Force in Philadelphia. He, too, believes the mob is back to the mid-1980s strength.
I'm retired from law enforcement now, but I'm sure that the people who are still there are concerned about it, and I'm very confident that they're going to be watching it closely.
Federal and state investigators believe Legambi still oversees the resurgent Philly mob. Over 30 inducted members are now back on the street. Sources say several new mobsters were recently inducted into the local family. But while the overall numbers are strong, insiders say they're divided into 4 factions. One headed by Legambi, one by former mob boss Joey Merlino, and another by convicted wise guy Phil Narducci, part of the Nicky Scarfo mob in the 1980s. A 4th faction is said to be loyal to Joe Pungatore, another convicted former Scarfo mob captain.
Who's the boss and who wants to be the boss? I mean, you know, Joey Merlino was very clever that way, and if I had to take a bet, I'd say Joey's still the guy in charge.
It sort of seems to me that the federal law enforcement authorities look at The Godfather 1 and 2 as a textbook. And it's not a textbook, it's a screenplay, over-investigated, over-indicted, over-tried, simply overblown.
That's a nice statement for somebody to make on behalf of the people who are paying him to be their paid apologist.
So with all these made members of the mob on the streets here in Philadelphia, you're probably wondering, what are they doing to earn money these days? There's no doubt their piece of the pie has shrunk considerably. But the 2016 version of the mob claims they've gone legit.
You talk to people who say, well, they're legit, they're legit, they're legit. These guys have a track record. I mean, they're legit, sure. You want to do business with them? That's on you.
It's no secret the home building and home renovation business is booming in Philadelphia, from northern Liberties to South Philadelphia. Construction can be seen on almost every corner in some neighborhoods. Contractors and building supply companies can barely keep up. All that building caught the local mob's eye, and now they're building, renovating, and flipping homes.
I mean, the interesting thing is we're hearing is that they're getting involved legitimately in reconstruction, rehab, mortgage refi.
Remember that meeting being run by Borghese back before Christmas? Well, that took place at the South Philadelphia headquarters of a real estate company and a local mortgage company. They buy homes, renovate them, and try to flip them for a handsome profit. All legit, just not something Borghese wanted to discuss with Fox 29 Investigates.
Just want to ask you a couple questions about real estate.
Good for them. I'm glad that they're in business. I hope they make a lot of money. If they do, I hope they offer me a partnership interest. I'd like to be able to get in on that real estate boom.
They're certainly enterprising, and they look for opportunities to make money.
If he's doing it legitimately, God bless him. We'll see.
And Borghese's not the only one doing it. Convicted mobster Joe Punjator owns properties all over Philly, including one of these 4 newly renovated row homes on South 7th Street. City records say he bought it for $200 grand early last year and renovated it. Punjator's unit recently listed for sale at $629,000. Good work clearly pays off.
It's just all out there.
Anastasia says that may be so, but there are a lot of eyes on all of this.
Down the road, everybody's watching, and if they cross that line, the feds and the state police and the local police expect them eventually to cross that line because that's who they are. Then there'll be problems.
I think they ought to be applauded, not scrutinized, not investigated.
Sources say state and federal investigators are keeping a close eye on the bulging mob ranks and their legitimate endeavors. Joey Merlino been bouncing in and out of town while running the restaurant that bears his name in Florida. He recently made an appearance at a New Year's Eve party in Packer Park with Legambi. He joined some close friends after a strut down Broad Street during the Mummers Parade on New Year's Day. All reported on social media. The mob is still getting headlines, just not the ones proclaiming their downfall. Jacobs insists investigators are wasting their time and taxpayers' money.
We don't have enough money to run our government. That which we do have, in my mind, would better be spent on protecting our borders from international and domestic terrorists.
That's true, but if you're in the city and you get in a situation where you've got a problem with these guys, then they become the terrorists that you've got to deal with.
You don't make new members if you're going out of business, and enterprising criminals don't join an organization that they think is going nowhere and falling apart.
Dave Schratweiser, Fox 29 News.